What if I told you that somewhere in the world, there may still be a lost treasure worth billions of dollars, hidden for over 500 years? Not pirate gold, not a forgotten king's fortune, but the legendary treasure of the Aztec Empire. A mountain of gold, silver, emeralds, and priceless artifacts that vanished during one of history's most dramatic conquests. Thousands searched for it. Explorers died looking for it. Treasure hunters spent fortunes chasing clues. And yet, to this day, nobody knows exactly where it went. Did it sink to the bottom of a lake? Was it buried in a secret location? Or was the greatest treasure in the Americas melted down and lost forever? The mystery begins in a city that seemed almost impossible. In the early 1500s, deep in what is now Mexico stood the magnificent city of Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire. When Spanish explorers first saw it, they could hardly believe their eyes. The city rose from the middle of a vast lake, connected by massive causeways. Canals ran through neighborhoods like streets of water. Markets bustled with tens of thousands of people. Many Europeans later compared it to the greatest cities on Earth. Some thought it looked even more impressive than cities in Spain. And everywhere they looked, there was wealth. Gold jewelry, golden ornaments, golden statues, gold-covered temples. But here's the strange thing. To the Aztecs, gold wasn't primarily money. It was sacred. It represented the sun and divine power. They valued it spiritually. To the Spanish, it represented something entirely different: riches, power, and greed. In 1519, a Spanish conquistador named Hernán Cortés arrived on the shores of Mexico with only a few hundred men. By any logical measure, he should have failed. The Aztec Empire controlled millions of people. Its armies were enormous. Its capital was heavily defended. Yet Cortés had something powerful on his side: opportunity, and perhaps a bit of luck. As he advanced inland, he formed alliances with tribes who hated Aztec rule. Many local peoples had suffered under the empire and saw the newcomers as a chance for revenge. Soon, Cortés marched toward Tenochtitlan itself. Waiting for him was the powerful Aztec ruler Montezuma II. And this is where history starts to feel like a mystery novel. Some accounts suggest Montezuma initially welcomed the Spanish into the city. Others argue he was cautious but uncertain. Either way, the Spaniards entered Tenochtitlan peacefully. Imagine that moment. A few hundred foreigners walking into one of the greatest cities in the world, surrounded by thousands of warriors, far from home, far from reinforcements. One wrong move could have ended everything. Yet somehow, they gained control. Soon tensions exploded, violence broke out, trust vanished. And before long, the Spanish effectively took Montezuma hostage inside his own city. The situation became increasingly unstable. The Aztecs grew furious. The Spanish grew nervous. Everyone sensed disaster approaching. Then it happened. In 1520, the city erupted into rebellion. Aztec warriors surrounded the Spaniards. Streets became battlefields. The conquerors who once seemed unstoppable suddenly found themselves trapped. And now, we arrive at the most important night in this entire mystery. A night known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows. As darkness fell, Cortés and his men attempted a desperate escape from Tenochtitlan. But they weren't leaving empty-handed. Far from it. The Spanish had accumulated enormous quantities of Aztec treasure: gold bars, jewelry, precious artifacts, ornaments, anything valuable they could carry. And that's where greed took over. Many soldiers became obsessed with taking as much treasure as possible. Some stuffed their pockets with gold. Others loaded themselves down with loot. One account claims certain men carried so much treasure they could barely walk. Imagine being in the middle of a life-or-death escape and deciding that gold mattered more than survival. It was a fatal mistake. As the Spanish crossed the causeways leading out of the city, Aztec warriors attacked from every direction. Arrows rained down. Spears flew through the darkness. War canoes surrounded them from the water. Panic erupted. Men stumbled. Horses fell. And then the weight of the treasure became a curse. Loaded down with gold, many soldiers couldn't swim. They plunged into the lake and disappeared beneath the surface, taking their treasure with them. Some drowned instantly. Others were dragged underwater by the sheer weight of their loot. The lake swallowed both men and gold. When morning arrived, hundreds were dead. and a huge portion of the treasure was gone, lost somewhere beneath the waters surrounding Tenochtitlan. Or so it seemed, because the story gets stranger. Despite this disaster, Cortés eventually returned. With allies and reinforcements, he laid siege to the city. After months of brutal fighting, starvation, and disease, Tenochtitlan finally fell in 1521. The Aztec Empire collapsed. The Spanish began searching desperately for treasure. They expected to find unimaginable riches. Instead, much of it had vanished. Gone. Missing. Nowhere to be found. And that's where the mystery truly begins. Because historians know the Aztecs possessed enormous amounts of wealth. Spanish records describe incredible treasures, yet surprisingly little of it was ever recovered. Where did it go? One possibility is simple. Much of it sank during La Noche Triste. Over the centuries, explorers recovered scattered pieces from areas around ancient canals and waterways, but not enough to explain everything. Another theory suggests Aztec nobles hid vast portions of the treasure before the city fell. Think about it. If you knew foreign invaders were coming for your wealth, what would you do? Many historians believe valuables were concealed in secret locations before the final conquest. Buried, hidden in caves, submerged in lakes, taken far from the city. And if that's true, some of it may still be waiting to be discovered. But there is an even darker possibility. What if the treasure was found? What if it simply ceased to exist? The Spanish were not interested in preserving Aztec art. Most conquerors cared about precious metal itself. Countless artifacts were melted down. Masterpieces of craftsmanship disappeared forever inside furnaces. Beautiful works of history transformed into anonymous gold bars. Imagine discovering one of the greatest artistic treasures ever created, only to destroy it for raw metal. That may have happened on a massive scale, which creates a heartbreaking twist. The real loss may not be the gold. It may be the history, the stories, the culture, the artistry that vanished forever. Yet the legend continued. Over the centuries, rumors spread about hidden chambers filled with Aztec treasure. Secret caves protected by curses, lost maps, forgotten tunnels. Treasure hunters became obsessed. Some spent entire lives searching. A few claimed success. Most found nothing. And perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the mystery is how much remains unknown. Modern Mexico City now stands atop the ruins of Tenochtitlan. Beneath its streets lie layers of history. Archaeologists continue making astonishing discoveries. Temples, artifacts, offerings, entire sections of the ancient city. Every few years, new finds emerge from beneath modern buildings, which raises an intriguing possibility. What if part of the treasure has been sitting beneath one of the world's largest cities all along? Just a few feet beneath busy roads, beneath offices, beneath homes, hidden in plain sight. And then, there are those who believe the greatest Aztec treasure wasn't gold at all, it was knowledge. The Aztecs possessed advanced understanding of astronomy, engineering, agriculture, and urban planning. Their capital city amazed even their enemies, yet much of their knowledge was lost during the conquest. Books were destroyed, records disappeared, traditions vanished. Perhaps the true treasure wasn't what glittered in the sun. Perhaps it was what could never be melted down. A civilization's memory. Because gold can be measured, culture cannot. And maybe that's why this mystery has survived for 5 centuries. People aren't simply searching for treasure. They're searching for a lost world. A world that once stood proudly in the middle of a lake. A world that seemed invincible. Until greed, ambition, and conquest changed history forever. Somewhere out there, pieces of the Aztec treasure may still exist, hidden beneath water, buried beneath earth, or forgotten beneath the streets of a modern city. But perhaps the deeper mystery is this: how many civilizations have disappeared not because they lacked greatness, but because someone else valued their gold more than their story? And if we had to choose between finding the lost treasure of the Aztecs or recovering everything we lost about the people who created it, which would truly be worth more? Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more content like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Your Highness. And I'll see you in the next one.